welcome to my channel, and I am here because we are going to play with some mixed media today. I am still working on those recipe cards, and I have so many of those, you know, the inserts that you get in the inside of patterns where the characters are like black and white, or like depending on how old it is, they're like cream colored. And I had these from that Uncle Wiggily game, so I punched holes in them because I'm gonna string them on somehow, maybe from the top, and add them down there. And I just need to use these things up. So one night I just sat and I fussy cut them out, and I pulled a bunch of tags. Some are the Tim Holtz mixed media tags, and other ones are file folders that I cut up. So I have a couple of those, like this is a file folder that I actually did, and we are just going to go ahead and have a play. I have so many tags. And then I have a sprayer for the water. I've got some distress oxides. So if you have some distress oxides and you have not used them, pull those out. I have some regular distress spray stains. And then for a little bit of glitz and glamour, I have a little bit of mica stain, and I have different colors in those. So those are the colors I'm gonna be pulling. I thought I would go with the pink, yellow, aqua kind of a thing. And then I pulled in the ice spruce to dull down the brightness a little bit. And if I have to pull in vintage photo, I will. I also have a craft mat underneath here to protect my table surface. I pulled a couple with 3 of these Tim Holtz collection Stamper Anonymous stencils in some mid-century modern patterns that I felt were mid-century modern patterns. These remind me of the screens that they used to do in between rooms to divide rooms. When they had giant living rooms, but they'd add a screen in, and then you'd have like your dining or like a little seating area in the corner, or maybe it would just cover where your like bridge table was. So anyway, that kind of reminded me of that. And they also reminded me of, especially this one, of when you'd walk in a home and they'd do the half wall, and then they'd put this like wood grate up just so that you couldn't see in the dining room, but it gave you an entranceway. I don't know. Anyway, so I pulled those. Thought those were kind of fun. I have some paper towels for blotting, and I have my heat tool. Now, normally I would not use this heat tool. I would use the Ranger heat gun. I like that much better, but I don't have it. And this one I got out of my sister's estate, and this is the one she had. So I took that, everything, all my crafting stuff pretty much. I did bring a lot of stuff with me because you can't store liquids. And I knew that I would be wanting to craft while I was waiting for my house. And so, yeah, so I do have some things of my own also. And I took some things out of my sister's home because when I found out after she passed in April of last year, I can't believe, no, I'm sorry, my mother passed in April, my sister passed in December of last year. And I just can't believe she's been gone for over a year. It's crazy. So there's a mixing ball in the bottom of the oxides. Sorry, I'm having to mix these. I should have done it before I started. I did mix the micas because I hadn't used those in a long time. Okay, so you do have to mix them. Now the distress spray stain, just the plain, you do not have to mix. They do not have a ball in them. So what I'm going to start out with is I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to do some spraying and dragging, and then I'm also going to do just some stenciling. So I'm going to start out by just putting these in the middle. You pretty much line up the holes on the tags. If you have his tags and you have the smaller tags, or if you have the tag die, these work really well. He has a tag die that I have, and I think that's what I cut these with. It's been a long time. They've been in my stash for a while, and I have not used them. Okay, so I'm just going to start out adding in some spray stain first. So I'm going to start with the aqua, and I'm going to move this stuff out of the way because I don't want the girls to get hit. Put those over there. And I'm just going to lightly spray. And what I like to do is kind of like a 3 here. I did 4, but I'm going to go ahead and squirt some in the middle. And that was with the Salvage Patina, one of my favorite. I'm going to wait for this to set in a little bit before I pick it up. And then with that one, I'm going to end up doing the Kitsch Flamingo in the Distress spray also. And I'm just going to hit, I'm not going to use this a whole lot. Just a little bit here and there. Add in 3. And then I'm kind of wanting to add this spiced marmalade in. I think that would be kind of fun. And I'm just going to spritz that on. And then I'm going to pull these off. And we're going to use the ink that's on them in a little bit. So I'm just going to take those off, and I'm going to stack them up over here, one on top of the other, and you'll see why. Okay, so now I've got this really cool pattern going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit and I'm going to take some water. Oops. I'm going to use my heat tool in a little bit. I'm going to mist these first. So normally what I would have done is spray the tags, which I'll show you. I'm going to do that on the next one. These I wanted just a little bit crisper of a pattern. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this with some water and get those colors moving on the edge, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use it, I'm using the circles on the square pattern, and I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to blot, and it's going to just add a little bit more color and add a little bit of pattern on those. So I'm just adding color in. Let's get that cleaned off. Let's take this other one. Again, I'm going to spritz this and just get a little bit wet. I'm going to use the square one on this one. I'm going to flip it upside down and add what was left of the color right on to this. And I'm going to take this third one and I'm going to use this one in the middle. I'm going to go upside down so it has a different pattern, because this one has a circle. And I'm just going to press that and get what's left over off of that one on to the tag, and I'm just wiping them off over on the side. Okay, so we're going to set these aside to dry, and we're going to go in and do a little something else. Those will take a little bit to dry. Sorry if I'm shaking you guys. I could use my heat tool, but I think I'm just going to let them dry naturally. And then I'm going to come back in. Okay, so let's do 3 more. On these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit different technique. And I'm going to spritz my matte first. And I'm going to use... I'm going to use the Ice Spruce, which is kind of a gray color, in with this aqua, which will be really pretty. And then I'll go in with a mica stain. And on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the ink. I'm going to take another tag and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to lay it on the tag. And I'm going to let that sit for a minute. And then here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly just press and drag. And I'm gonna get this really cool effect. Okay, so that's gonna go there. And I may just do some at the bottom. I need to add a little bit. I'm gonna come back in after this dries. And then this now is just too gray for me, so let's add in a little bit of this distress spray again. And oh, I want to, this time I'm gonna spray my card, and I'm gonna take it and press it and lift it up. And now this one I'm gonna pull, this will be done. I'm gonna pull this off of here, and I'm gonna get that really cool effect. And then if I wanna go back in, I can press it down at the top just so that's not bare. And I could always, you can go in and you can layer. That's the cool thing about this stuff, is that you can layer it in. So now that I've got more of that aqua in, I think I'm just gonna press it into this one. And I'm gonna leave the top kind of plain on there. And I'm gonna go with that. Okay, so let's get this off of here, and we're gonna go in and we'll dry these. Because alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and do a few others here. I'm gonna hit that. Let's do some picked raspberry and some of that spiced marmalade. Add a little bit of water in. Put a little bit of water on my card, just lightly misting it. And I'm gonna go ahead and just drag it like that. I'm gonna drag it this way. Ooh, that's pretty. And I'm gonna drag it. A little water. And do that. Okay, let's set those off to the side. I'm gonna get another paper towel. Clean this off. Okay, and we're gonna go back in and let's do, got one last one. Let's spray that one. I kind of want to push this down in there and pick up some of the color. So let's see if I can get, yeah, that's cool. Let's do it on this one. And let's use the square one. That one. Okay. And I'm gonna do that again on this. This time, got a lot of the aqua. I think I'm gonna use the mica stain. And the marigold. And the pink. Spray that. This like so. Oh, I really need some more tags, don't I? Hold 1 second, because this is kind of coming out good. Just kind of lightly putting it in there. But I'm spraying the tag with, there, if I want more coverage, I kind of pushed it in a little bit. I'm running out of desk space. And one last one. These are bright and summery. I'm going to be using these in my summer. Set that on. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with this and just pick up some of it, not all of it, but take that off of there. Let's go in here, push it on that one, and let's do this one. And this is gonna have a little faint, but it's also gonna have some on the back, so I'm gonna have to be careful of this one. It needs to dry. And then I've got this one. Let's do that again. And that will be that. Let me do this one down here again. Pretty. Okay. Let me do this circle one. This one. And I'll do it on this one too. Like so. Just so it's kind of faint there. Okay. On this set, what I want to do is I want to use these again, and this time I want to do use it more like a stamp. So to move this over here, and I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to use the Distress Mica stain in the Frosty Mint color, and I'm just going to spray it on here. Let me see, I can spray it on my silicone mat, just to get a good thing on there. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of water because I want it to move, and I'm just gonna lightly spritz my tag, and then I'm gonna take this and I'm going to place it on top, and using a paper towel, I'm just going to go ahead and press off the excess just lightly and pull that off, and I will have the reverse image on there in that beautiful mica. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do these. Again, I wonder if I can get some of that ink on here, if I gotta spray it. Sorry, I can always dye some ribbon with these. Take this and just lightly press it. I'm very lightly pressing it onto the tag, and I'm pulling it off. And can you see that? And then I'm going to do it again. Oh, I forgot to just, you know what? Yeah, I kind of like not having the water on there. Okay, then I'm gonna spray this again. And I am going to place it down on the tag and just, again, lightly press just to get any kind of excess off and to get all the parts touching. And I have that. And I may just spritz this. I'm gonna definitely spritz this because I'm going to dye some ribbon here in a second. And I'm just going to come in and go back over the top part, like so. Alrighty, so I've got that. Let me set that off to the side and let's clean this up a little bit. And I'm going to use that part right there. And I'm going to get some of my seam binding. Hold one second. Got my seam binding. And I'm going to come in and spray the seam binding a little bit and crinkle it up real good. And then I'm just going to place it down in there. Might just use a little, what can I use to push it around? I have this little silicone thingy. And I'm gonna go ahead and color this. And I think I'm not gonna color it the whole thing. I'm just gonna, and to be honest, the best way to dry this is to just let it dry. I have a lot left on there, so let me get another one. Let me get another piece. Whoops. Whoopsie. Crinkle it up and put it down in there. And this is gonna probably not come out as dark as the other one, but that's okay. It'll still be pretty. And it helps me to mop up every last bit of this mica stain. Okay, that's gonna be pretty. All right, so I'm gonna set these aside and let's go ahead and wipe off my silicone spatula and wipe off my mat and wipe off my stencil. Just trying to get the color off my stencil a little bit. I don't clean them perfectly, but the thing about the sprays is that if you don't clean them and you re-wet it because it's water reactive, you will get those colors on whatever your next project is. So I just thought I would let you know. It's I'll take these over to the sink and get them really good and washed. I usually don't wash them if I use paint though, but all right. So that is that. Okay, I'll be back in a second because I'm going to dry these. Okay, I'm back. We're gonna do a little bit of inking on the edges. These all got dry. These were all finished drying. I don't know if you've ever seen the mica spray, but it is just beautiful. Adds just a little bit of gleam to it. So what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of texture. So I have this shorthand dictionary and I thought that would be kind of cool to tear some out and maybe just put some on the bottom of the page and just take a little piece and just to kind of ground the little girl. I think I'm gonna do that. And that will kind of ground her on here. And maybe I want to add, let me see. I've got these little wallpaper stickers. These little wallpaper bits that I punched out. I had some leftover wallpaper. That'd be kind of cute. I'm just going to come up with a formula and then I'm going to stick with it with each one, because they're going in 12 different books, so it doesn't matter if they, they're gonna look different, but they're gonna look the same. So let's see, I'm gonna add that on. This is gonna just be part of the mask making. And then let's put another little girl here. maybe over here so I can put, I want to keep this little fruit. It's cute, matches the thing here. And then, okay, that's those two. And then I'm going to go around and I'm going to ink them, and we will put them together. So here's a little butterfly. That. I like the shorthand because it's kind of from the same era. There. Do this. I'm going on this side because I've got the pattern, although I could do this on this side. And then how about her? She's kind of sassy. Beheaded was on that one. So I didn't want to use that one. Okay, here this has better. Looks good. And then I'll trim off all the edges later. Do those. Let's get these done and we will finish them. So I'm going to just take some glue stick and I need a glue book paper. I can use the front of this. I don't need any more. What was I going to put? Blistery. And this on the bottom. Put this there. And then we'll put the girl on there. So, and then after I'm just gonna go right here and just trim that off. And then what I'm gonna do is, I'll just do one on camera so you don't have to sit here and watch me do them all. But I'm going to then take some of this Distress Oxide or Distress ink, and I'm just going to go around and do the edges. Just kind of ink the edge. I don't want to like grunge it because these are going in a cookbook and it's not grungy, but I would like to edge it a little bit. So kind of just make it a little more cohesive. There's that. And yeah, then we will take this, and I was thinking about just kind of hanging it at the top. And then, to be honest, let's see, I think I might have, I have twine. I have some twine, or I could use lace, or you could use, I could have dyed some seam binding. I didn't dye any to go with this one. So instead, I'll just use this baker's twine. And I think I'm going to double it. And I'm going to go through this and through this. Put this at the top. Oops. Like so. And then take these ends and pull it through. And then I'll just clip the ends like that. And then you've got this thing here and that cute little girl. So this is what I'm going to be making. I've got 12 to do for the cookbooks, but I hope you get your inks out and get some stencils out, make background patterns, and do these cute little tags. See you guys later. Bye.